The House will come to order. The pledge today will be led by Luka Stoyanovich, Colorado State University, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get a picture taken. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. Mr. Kohler, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Becker J, Becker K, Brown, Buck, Buckner, Carver, Conti, Corum, Court, Danielson, Del Grosso. Yeah, did we? Did I? Representative Del Grosso? All right. Dorr. Representative Dorr.
I'd like you to hold hands.
Thanks.
Representative Dorr excused.
Duran. Esgar. Everett.
She said he was excused.
Okay. Everett excused. Fields. Foot.
Here.
Garnett. Janal.
Okay, so remember that we got building
Representative Janal.
Representative Janal excused.
Hamner. Humphrey. Joshi. Kagan. Klingenschmidt. Kraft-Tharp. Landgraf is excused. Representative Janal is present. Lawrence. Levsock. Lee. Leonard. Lontine. Representative Dorr is present. Lundeen. McCann. Melton. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Navarro. Neville. Nordberg. Pabon. Pedersen. Primavera. Priola. Rankin. Ransom. Rosenthal. Rupe. Ryden. Representative Ryden.
Representative Ryden excused.
Sane. Salazar. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Tyler. Van Winkle. Behill. Willett. Williams. Wilson. Windholz. Winter. Wist. Young. Madam Speaker.
Here.
No. Yes. Okay.
With 62 present, 3 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the reading of the Journal of Friday, February 12th be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion, or most of you have, that the journal be adopted as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. Motion carries. Announcements and introductions. Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Health
And
Insurance.
Representative McCann, would you give me a couple of minutes here?
Be happy to.
Members, we are starting announcements and introductions. Please take your side conversations to the side, and please give your attention to those who are making announcements and introductions at the well. That information is important.
Thank
May
you,
I
Madam.
have your quiet, please? I don't
Thank-
think we're there yet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Health Insurance and Environment, we are not meeting today on adjournment. We are meeting Thursday. We're going to meet in room 271 on Thursday. We have two bills that may take some time. Thanks.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, this is our month to double up on the Sportsman's Caucus. We'll have some specific information on your desk tomorrow, but I wanted to announce that Molly Pitts will be here talking about healthy forests and healthy communities, as well as Tom Speasy from the National Wild Turkey Foundation talking about wildlife and the effect that forests have on wildlife. And just a minor footnote, the hot dogs will be in room 112, high noon on Thursday. Thank you.
Members, could we have your attention? Thank you. Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just have two announcements. One is for the Public Health Care and Human Services Committee. If you'll look at your calendar today, House Bill 16-1092 by Representative Moreno is on the calendar for today and also on our calendar for our Friday upon adjournment. So we will hear it today. That's House Bill 16-1092. And then I'm practicing today for Wear Red for Women Day, which will be Friday, February 19th. And I'd like to make sure that you join the American Heart Association to celebrate Wear Red Day, mingle with volunteers, and they're actually going to feed us breakfast. So on Friday, go red for women.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Business Affairs and Labor Committee, we will have a joint meeting in room 271 upon adjournment, and we will also have our regularly scheduled 1:30 p.m. meeting. We will hear 1145, 1176, 1157, and that will be in LSBA. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Madam
And
Speaker.
Representative Quorum.
Thank you. I actually have two announcements, but the first one I'm sharing with Representative Quorum. And Ron, if you could please display the little picture that we talked about earlier. Members, you might not know this about me, but I am a huge fan of American Idol. And this is the last, who knew? This is the last season for American Idol, if you didn't know that. And imagine my delight when I was watching the show to see a little girl from my district do very well in the competition. I wrote her a little note, and she sent me back this postcard I'm so pleased to share with you today. In the middle, you see Genevieve May Mitchell from Crawford, Colorado, in Delta County, Colorado. She made the audition. She passed through Hollywood Week, which is, as you know, if you're a fan of the show, very difficult and very emotional. And then last week, she performed, and they cut 5 people, and she remains in the competition. So I wanted you to, I'm going to try to invite her here to the floor sometime while we're in session and see if we can introduce you to her in person. But I wanted you to say woohoo to Genevieve May Mitchell, one of my constituents and a contestant on American Idol. Woo!
Representative Quorum.
Thank you. I had her first. She was in my district first. Yeah, she's in Delta County, east end of Delta County, and right on the line where I represent Montrose County. But she's an incredible young lady. I met this young lady 3 or 4 years ago when she was playing at a soil conservation district, and she's extremely talented. The family lives off the grid. The little girl is self-taught. She plays 12 instruments, and she's just an incredible little showman. And I talked to her earlier that a few years ago, and she said her goal was to go to American Idol, but she never planned on going till she was like 17 or 18. So when the last final session come up, she said, you know, I've got to go. And She came to Denver originally and sailed through that, went to California. But if you get a chance to watch her, because she is a fun-loving little girl.
Thank you.
Representative Abner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Representative Corum. The other thing is I'd like to call the Capitol Choir down because we have 2 birthdays to celebrate here this morning. One is for Representative Williams, whose birthday was Valentine's Day. And then today we are celebrating the birthday of Representative Nordberg. So we have a birthday on each side of the floor this morning. So Capitol Choir, we have a Capitol Trio right now. We need a few more members of our choir to come on down. And so that we can sing happy birthday to Representative Williams and Representative Nordberg. Are we ready? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Representatives Williams and Nordberg.
Oh,
Happy birthday to you.
Representative Corum and then Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a reminder that the Timber Association is across the street starting at 5 at City Grill. Go by and say hi to the folks there. And also the Colorado Contractors Association is at Maggiano's.
Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. You may recall that my constituent, Michaela Schifrin, is a multiple gold medal winner in the slalom in both the World Cup and the Olympics. She was badly hurt this fall. Her knee was torn out. 8 weeks later, this past weekend, she won a slalom in Switzerland. Let's give it up for Michaela Schifrin. Woohoo!
Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to inform the members that I've asked to be excused a week from Friday on the 26th of February. Thank you.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of House Finance, we have a change in the calendar for next Wednesday, or this Wednesday, tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we meet at 1:30 as usual. There were 3 bills on the calendar. We're taking one of them off at the bill sponsor's request. That is House Bill 1187. Representative Kraft-Tharp's bill is not going to be heard Wednesday afternoon, but we'll be still hearing House Bill 1037 and House Bill 1006. That's tomorrow afternoon, House Finance. Thank you.
Representative Quorum. Three times is a charm, I think.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm having trouble getting a bill to the floor, so I decided to work on announcements. I have a card that I'm passing around. One of our former members, Diane Hoppy, is going through some serious health problems. So this has been through the Senate, so we're going to run it through the House, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. Thank you.
Further announcements and introductions? Seeing none, the next order of business is General Order, second reading of bills. Representative Court. You've heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Court will take the chair.
Let's go ahead and get started. The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request to read a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads, and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader. The Colt rule is relaxed. All right, let's get started. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 015.
Senate Bill 15 by Senator Baumgartner, also Representative Vigil, concerning a requirement that a governor-designated state agency clarify which pesticides may be used in the marijuana industry.
Representative Vigil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 15, and there are no committee reports.
Okay, let's proceed with the bill.
Senate Bill 15 is a very simple bill. What it does, since marijuana remains illegal in the rest of the states, what this does, it clarifies that or it tells us that we should have pesticides that are allowed instead of not allowed. The list is a lot longer of those not allowed, and the rules and regulations are promulgated by a rule, executive order, will allow this to happen. So with that, that's what this bill's all about. However, I do encourage that we have some interim standards on this bill because of the title so wide, and I don't think anybody's going to mess with it this time around, but I think in the future, I think we need to have the executive branch work on interim standards. So with that, I'll answer any questions anybody has on this bill.
Thank you, Representative Vigil. Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I rise in strong support of this bill. Representative Vigil is exactly right that because of the need to regulate this industry in a safe and productive way, we need to have the ability for the industry to know what pesticides are allowed on this product. And right now, the law is says that the governor shall promulgate rules on what's not allowed. As you can imagine, those numbers are far greater. Those chemicals and those types of products are far greater than what is allowed. And so this makes this streamlined and transparent for the industry and those to abide by the public safety rules. So I want to thank Representative Vigil for bringing this bill. It's a very good bill, and I ask for a yes vote.
Further discussion, Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we heard this in the Ag Committee. It is a very necessary bill, and would ask you to vote yes on this bill.
Further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 15, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 15 is passed. Representatives Brown and Hamner. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1083.
House Bill 1083, Representatives Brown and Hamner, also Senators Donovan and Grantham, concerning the role and mission of Western State Colorado University.
Thank you. Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would move House Bill 16-1083.
Thank you. Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, Representative Brown and I share the representation of Gunnison County, and Western State Colorado University is right in the heart of the district. It's actually in his district, but they've adopted me as well. We are carrying this bill together. This makes some minor revisions to the role and mission for Western, and I ask for your support.
Thank you. Further discussion on House Bill 1083. Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1083 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. 1083 is passed. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1098.
House Bill 1098 by Representative Lawrence, concerning updates to provisions related to school discipline reporting.
Thank you. Representative Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1098 to Thursday, February 18th.
Okie dokie. House Bill 1098 is laid over. House Bill 1067. Mr. Kohler, please read the title.
House Bill 1067, Representative Mitch Bush, also Senator Donovan, concerning extension of the authorization for a regional transportation authority to impose a uniform mill levy on all taxable property within its territory.
Thank you. Representative Ms. Bush.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 16-1067. There is no committee report.
Thank you. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill seeks to extend the period which is now to be sunsetted in 2019 to 2029 to enable regional transportation authorities to continue to go to their voters, to ask their voters for a mill levy. Regional transportation authorities, which are also, most of them, rural transportation authorities, began by statute in 2009. They had the authority at that point in time to both do a sales tax mill levy and a property tax mill levy. This bill only is concerned with extending that existing authority for the property tax levy. Why? Why to 2029? Why so long? Because it takes quite a while for these transportation authorities, such as Pikes Peak Regional Transportation Authority and the South Platte Regional Transportation Authority, and the Baptist Road Regional Transportation Authority, and the two rural ones in my neck of the woods, Gunnison and the Roaring Fork Transit Authority, to get the information together to go to their voters. These transportation authorities do many different things. They are not all knit out of the same thread. Some of them focus on roads and bridges and interchange needs. Some of them focus on airport and airline needs. And some of them focus on transit. They are all very different. They are all very important in their districts. And we heard testimony about especially how these regional transportation authorities are critical for families, workers, and businesses. I'd urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1067 say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1067 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1120.
House Bill 1120 by Representative Janal, Senator Tate, concerning the requirement that domestic pets be vaccinated against rabies.
Thank you. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I move House Bill 1120 and the Public Health and Human Services Committee report.
To the committee report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first part of the amendment, L001, was in regards to the authority of a veterinarian to delegate that a vet tech can administer the vaccinations as long as they are under a veterinarian's direct supervision. This was a clarification and recommended by DORA. And the second part was requested by the Department of Agriculture to clarify what types of animals are involved. And these are pets, namely dogs and cats.
Thank you.
I ask for an aye vote.
All those in favor of the committee report, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The committee report is adopted. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And the threat of rabies is real, and it's a public health issue, and it's on the rise. And since 2007, Colorado has had an increased number of terrestrial wildlife, like skunks, raccoons, and fox, that are testing positive for rabies. Dogs and cats that are exposed can spread rabies to humans. Colorado is one of a few states that does not require vaccinations of dogs and cats. Currently, our ordinances vary from county to county and city to city, which fails to establish the appropriate public health baseline for rabies vaccinations. This bill comes out of committee with bipartisan support and is supported by CDPHE, the Colorado Association of Public Health Officials, the Colorado Veterinary Medical Association, and the Colorado Federation of Dog Clubs. House Bill 1120 is about protecting public health, and I ask for a yes vote.
Thank you. Further discussion on House Bill 1120. Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, looking at this bill, I mean, something that's been traditional here in the state of Colorado is local control when it comes to vaccinating your animals. I mean, this violates local control on the most base level. At the same time, it sort of says you cannot be a responsible pet owner. Being a responsible pet owner means absolutely making sure your dogs and cats are vaccinated. It's your responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility to tell you to do so.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1120, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. House Bill 1120 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 9.
Senate Bill 9 by Senator Grantham, also Representative Primavera, concerning the sharing of professional dental fees.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 9, and there is no committee report.
Thank you. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What Senate Bill 9 does is it updates an outdated and confusing law in the Dental Practice Act. There's a longstanding provision in the Dental Practice Act that rightfully so prohibits illegal kickbacks and fee sharing between dentists and non-dentists. This provision has been in the Dental Practice Act since at least the early 60s. However, the growth and changes in the way modern dentistry is delivered to patients has caused some recent interpretation problems with the fee-sharing statute. Senate Bill 9 maintains a long-standing prohibition that illegal kickbacks between dentists and non-dentists is in place, yet clarifies that legal franchise fees are not illegal under the Dental Practice Act. This change is supported by Comfort Dental, and we have 200 owners practicing in Colorado. They provide high-quality dentistry, expanded hours, lower prices. They serve Medicaid clients, and it's also supported by the Colorado Dental Association. It passed out of the Senate on the consent calendar. It passed out of Health and Human Services Committee in the House on a unanimous vote. There's no fiscal note. It's good for business. I ask for your support.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 9, please say aye. All those opposed, no. Senate Bill 9 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1148.
House Bill 1148 by Representative Sias, also Senator Roberts and Kafalas, concerning additional oversight authority of the Health Insurance Exchange Oversight Committee with regard to policies proposed by the Health Benefit Exchange.
Representative Sias.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move House Bill 16-1148 and the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report.
Thank you. Please explain the committee report. Representative Sias.
Madam Speaker,
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, excuse me. Madam Chair, this bill is focused on transparency and consumer protection. It received bipartisan support, and it is the result of a good deal of work among a variety of stakeholders. It passed State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee unanimously, and I urge your support.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1148. All those in favor? What? Oh, wait. Sorry. This is the amendment. Pardon me. This is the committee report. All those in favor of the committee report, please say aye. All those opposed? The committee report is adopted. Now to the bill. I apologize, Representative Sias, 1148.
Madam Chair, nothing else to add on the bill. As I said, a bipartisan and passed the State Affairs Committee by a vote of 9-0. Thank you for your support.
Okay, now we're to the bill. All those in favor of House Bill 1148, please say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1148 is adopted. Now, Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1122.
House Bill 1122 by Representative Everett, also Senators Hill and Marble, concerning the use of remote starter systems on unattended vehicles.
Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1122 in the committee report.
Please, to the committee report.
We had a couple amendments in the committee report. On line 2, we substituted A for an unlocked. There was an editing error or a drafting error on page 2, line 22, so we changed out and for an or, and then we added a local control provision in there as well. And I urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, all those in favor of the committee report, please say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report is adopted. To the bill, Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Basically, this is a public safety issue. When you're not allowed to either let your car warm up and you have children or cool down, it's been a major concern to a lot of moms and dads throughout the state, so I urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Further discussion. Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it is a strange feeling to be in the well on second reading with Representative Everett on a bill, but I do support this bill. It's a good idea. It keeps technology up with, or our law up with technology and the security features that exist to protect these cars who have the remote starter systems. There may be some moms and dads in this very chamber who have remote starter systems in their vehicles, and find that this is a good way to balance public safety and the ability to warm or cool your vehicle, which is not just comfort but safety as well. Ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion. Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of this esteemed body. I have to say that I'm a little concerned about this bill moving forward because a certain sponsor had told me about this great idea, and I thought, you're right, we should run a bill and make this happen. But unfortunately, or somehow, my name did not get on this bill. And so, for that reason, I would ask for a aye vote, just simply because it is still good legislation.
All right, children, are we going to have a little spat here? Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to publicly apologize to Representative Melton because I did promise that he could be on the bill, which if he votes for it and it gets on a third reading, he can hit the button and we'll all be happy. Urge and I vote on the bill.
Thank you. Further discussion. Representative Klingenschmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question for the bill sponsor, Representative Everett. I personally don't have a remote starter for my cars. So is your bill creating a special protected class of elite people who have access that will be allowed to do this when I personally will not be given that? I'm for equal opportunity, equal protection under the law, and I'm just wondering if that would be a conflict.
Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Representative Klingenschmidt, please, when you ask questions about my bill, sing, because that seems to be what you're good at. If you actually heard during the committee report phase, you would find out that it's amended. So as long as your car's locked, it's not an elite class. So if you can lock your car, Representative Klingenschmidt, you're okay.
Further discussions on House Bill 1122. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1122 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read us the title of House Bill 1169.
House Bill 1169 by Representative Quorum concerning the appointment of representatives of the Southern Ute Mountain Ute tribes as voting members of the Statewide Transportation Advisory Committee.
Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, that's a first following Representative Everett on a bill. I move House Bill 1169 and ask for your support. This is a bill, it's kind of a unique bill because the Ute Indian tribe, it's two nations within a nation, and so we're just giving them support on the Advisory Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1169? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1169, please say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 1169 is passed. Mr. Kohler, please read us the title of House Bill 1151.
House Bill 1151 by Representative Pabon, also Senator Holbert, concerning the expansion of penalty mitigation and the alcohol beverage laws for vendors meeting the definition of responsible vendor as provided by law.
Thank you. Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move House Bill 1151. There is no committee report.
Thank you. To the bill.
Madam Chair, I do want to make note that the world is changing before us as we speak when you have in the same second reading calendar a Sias bill pass, an Everett bill pass, and a Quorum bill. So I'm hoping that the universe will continue on the right track and pass a Pabon bill. But this is a bill that incentivizes training for those who serve alcohol. And we have found that over the course of time, when we first established the Responsible Vendor Training Program in 2004, I don't think anyone was here then, but there was some foresight there. There was a large reduction in the number of compliance failure rates. It had been 26% in 2004. With the advent of the Responsible Vendor Act, that failure rate has now gone to 10% in 2015, which is a remarkable rate, and we wanted to expand and incentivize those training opportunities for this industry. So ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Further discussion on House Bill 1151. Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1151, please say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1151 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read us the title of House Bill 1063.
House Bill 1063 by Representative Foote, concerning exception to the prohibition against disclosing confidential communications with a mental health professional when school safety is at risk.
Thank you. Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1063 and the Judiciary Committee report.
To the report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm going to talk a little bit about this report because it really is now the bill. It was a strike below amendment that was approved by the Judiciary Committee. And just to back up a little bit and explain, this is a school safety bill. This provides the discretion for a mental health professional to disclose a threat that is made towards a school, everything from preschool all the way up to higher education. And the intent of the bill is to provide that discretion. It's not a duty, it's an option for mental health professionals to disclose under certain circumstances. And the strike below amendment addressed what those circumstances were to a great degree. It addressed really 5 major areas. The ones that I'll highlight for the purposes of now are that 1, it set a standard for disclosure when the discretion kicks in. Number 2, it added law enforcement as being folks that would be disclosed to, just like the duty to disclose, even though this isn't a duty to disclose. It also, number 3, it dealt with FERPA standards. That's the Federal Education Record Procedures Act, I believe, making sure that that was put into the bill, that folks would follow the same procedures that they do anyway under the school. And then also we put in a waiver that we may have to go through to put this standard in because it is different than the HIPAA waiver for disclosure. So having said all of that, the amendment passed the Judiciary Committee unanimously, and I ask for an aye vote on the amendment.
Thank you. Further discussion. Representative Thurlow. Sorry, Willett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I stand in support of this bill and the good work done by Representative Foote on it. The key thing here is it improves school safety the right way. We heard over the summer in the interim committee on kids in crisis and school safety that what they need are school resource officers, counselors, people that can intercept a troubled kid before an event. This does that as opposed to lawsuits after the event that frankly don't help with safety. This is a good bill. Vote yes.
Further discussion. Representative Klingenschmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wasn't in the committee, but I do have a question for the bill sponsor. Would this perhaps create a disincentive for children going to counselors or going to school nurses because they're afraid if I talked to somebody and I thought it was confidential and then, boy, they went and disclosed my information. You know, I was a chaplain, and when people come to me for counseling, it's 100% confidential. And that enhances people's willingness to come and get the help that they need. And I'm just concerned that you're creating a disincentive for people who struggle, who need that help, that they're afraid to go get the help they need because their private information is going to be aired beyond the reaches of that confidential counselor. Can you comment on that?
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Representative Klingenschmidt, this was something that was discussed in the committee at some length, and mental health professionals came in to testify in the committee as well. And that is a concern, which is why we built into the bill 2 areas of discretion. Number 1 is the discretion that gets you up to a particular threat that would be disclosed. It wouldn't be any threat. It wouldn't be a threat like I'm going to go beat up this guy at the bike racks, or I'm going to go steal something from the trophy case, or anything like that. It has to be a very high level of a threat, and the amendment put in the level of threat as being an articulable and significant threat, and that's further defined in the amendment. So it's a high level of threat, not quite the serious and imminent level that we see in the duty to disclose, which is already in law, but it's still a high level of threat that would just be something that would potentially cause serious bodily injury to individuals within a school. And then the second area of discretion is also just whether or not to disclose it at all. So if there's a mental health professional that thinks, okay, this threat gets up to a high level of threat, it meets the first articulable and significant hurdle, but still because of confidentiality concerns or because of this patient of mine, I'm still not going to disclose it. And that's the second part of discretion there. So it's all going to be within the mental health professional to use their best judgment under the totality of circumstances. There's no civil liability that attaches to a decision one way or the other. So if the professional decides to disclose, there's no civil liability attached. If the professional decides not to disclose, there's no liability to that attaches. And all of these are for those reasons that you mentioned, which is that we want to try to walk that fine line between school safety as well as preserving confidentiality. So I think that the amendment has been able to walk that line. And so far, there's mental health professionals and others that came in to testify on the bill. No one came out in opposition to the bill. So I feel like that opinion is shared by others, and I hope by you as well, Representative Klingenschmitt.
Representative Humphrey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a general question because I wasn't in the committee. If one of you folks who's sponsoring the bill could kind of discuss this a little bit vis-a-vis Tarasoff and why it's necessary. I think you touched upon some of that, discussing the significant threat language that's in the bill in response to Representative Klingenschmidt's question. But if you could just go into why that's sort of necessary in terms of what we have already for mandatory reporting and why that's not enough at this point, and how that helps folks who are licensed in the mental health field. Just generally discuss it vis-a-vis Tarasoff. Thank you.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, first of all, Representative Humphrey, the Tarasoff case came out a while ago, and HIPAA, which is what would be controlling this disclosure, actually came out and was passed by Congress after Tarasoff. So the standard that we're dealing with under HIPAA is an imminent and serious threat. And that under HIPAA is what allows mental health professionals to make a disclosure. Actually, in our law, the duty to disclose, it requires a mental health professional to make that disclosure under the HIPAA standard. What this bill does is that it says that if there is a threat that is something a little bit less than serious and imminent under HIPAA, the disclosure still could be made if the therapist thinks that it's the right thing to do, and under their discretion they can disclose it. So that's where we came up with the articulable and significant threat. It's something less than serious and imminent, but it's also something that is quite serious, as we said. So that's the interplay, and we talked a lot about that in committee as well, and happy to talk to you about it further, but that is the interplay between what we have now with HIPAA, what we have now also with the duty to disclose state law, and then also what we would have as well for this option, not the duty, but the option to disclose under House Bill 1063.
Representative Willett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the question, Representative Humphrey. I think one thing to keep in mind is it does help these mental health providers, because we learned in some of the cases that there's a disconnect or a miscommunication or a lack of communication between the school counselors and the private counselors. By allowing this somewhat lower standard and the freedom of a private counselor to communicate, then the left hand knows what the right hand's doing, and what we're after here is to get that kid some help so that kid's not suicidal, so that kid doesn't do something else. So we need a better communication. This provides it. It's a good bill.
Thank you. Further discussion. Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And colleagues, I just wanted to weigh in on this bill because Representative Foote and I had an extended conversation a couple of times talking about the ramifications of this bill and how it can effectively assist school personnel in raising the flag, if you will, that there's a problem here that we need to address further. We all know that this is a huge issue. It's not an easy issue. Anytime you talk about mental health issues and threats in schools, those are not easy topics to deal with. But I certainly commend Representative Foote on what he did with this bill. I think it's a step in the right direction so that we can have a more effective way of schools being able to raise that red flag that this child may need a little bit of extra help and assistance, and it could be a serious threat to someone else. So I urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Further discussion on House Bill 1163. On the committee report. Seeing none, all those in favor of the committee report, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report is adopted. Now to the bill, please, Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, we have spoken about the bill since it was a strike below amendment. So again, I ask for an aye vote on House Bill 1063.
Thank you. Further discussion. Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In reading the strike below, I think that makes it even a better bill. I'm going to vote yes on this because it is permissive. If there's an articulable threat made and the counselor does say something, that counselor won't be held liable. So I urge a yes vote on this bill.
Thank you. Further discussion? The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1063. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1063 is adopted. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1260 and House Bill 1118 to Thursday, February 18th.
House Bill 1260 and 1118 will be laid over to Thursday, the 18th. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Kohler, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, Committee of the Whole begs lead reports under consideration following tax bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations thereon. House Bills 1063 amended, 1067, 1083, 1120 amended, 1122 amended, 1148 amended, 1151, 1169. Passed on second reading in order to gross place on calendar for third and final passage. Senate Bills 9 and 15 passed on second reading in order to revise the place on calendar for third and final passage. House Bills 1098, 1118, and 1260 laid over until February 18th, retaining their place on the calendar.
Representative Court. You have heard the motion, and there are no amendments. Members, we are about ready to vote on the report of the Committee of the Whole. The question before the House is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 64 ayes, no noes, and 1 excuse, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On your desks this morning, colleagues, you will find a lovely blue flyer telling you about the Claw Caucus lunch, which will be this Thursday at noon over in LSBA. We are going to have a really interesting presentation from the Division of Parks and Wildlife about their mountain lion control program. And then we'll have a discussion about the pros and cons. So it should be quite interesting. So hope to see you on Thursday at noon across the street. Thanks.
Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the House Judiciary Committee, change in order of presentation of bills at this afternoon's 1:30 p.m. hearing. The first bill up will be House Bill 1094 by Representative Dorr concerning making references to the Attorney General gender neutral. That will be the first bill up. We don't expect it to take a long time, but that will be coming up at 1:30 as the first bill.
Further discussion, further announcements and introductions. Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader, or
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today at 1:30 p.m.
The motion is to stand in recess until later today at 1:30 p.m. Seeing no objection, so ordered. You're in recess.